Good day and welcome to Natural Health Dialogue. We appreciate you taking a few minutes to listen and become educated, and you'll hopefully learn, at least one thing that you didn't know before. I can say that's probably a certainty, given that naturopathic Dr. Randy Lee covers such a important set of ideas in a concise period of time. So, Randy, what do we have today?
Joseph, last year we covered cleansing of all of our body systems. This year we're taking this step forward. We're doing this whole series called Herbal Monographs, and we got something different each week. The second week of the month, we always cover how to keep a body system healthy. And
Right.
The body system we're going to talk about today is the glandular system. It's probably one of the most complex systems that we have, in that it covers such a variety of things. But we're going to talk about the care and feeding of the glandular system. The glandular system's basic function is to regulate all the other body systems and body functions. It does that through the secretion of what are the messengers of that glandular system, and those are hormones. So we're basically going to talk about hormones today. They assist in the repair of injured body tissue. They determine sexual identity. They promote body growth. They control body temperature. They even regulate our emotions. So hormones play a very major part. There are many of them. There are over 50 different hormones that are in the body, and they play those talking to one another. Years ago, Nature Sunshine organized the body around 9 body systems in its work, in its development of supplements. And the supplement that had that it called its umbrella product for the glandular system is called Master Gland. Now, Master Gland will give you a little bit of nutrients for all of your glandular systems. So if you know you're having glandular problems and you don't know specifically which gland to go to, one, you can come talk to us. But secondly, you could just take Master Gland. I'm not going to give you an herbal anthology today, but I do want you to recognize the names of some of the herbs that you may be taking that have an impact on your hormone development and on your hormone usage and your glandular system. So you're going to recognize, most people will recognize names like dandelion, alfalfa, asparagus, licorice, kelp, marshmallow, and no, I'm not talking the little little white sugary things that we roast over a fire. I'm talking about the root of the marshmallow plant, which has a lot of nutrients in it. Less known to the novices are herbs like parthenium, eleuthero, uva ursi, things that we don't hear as much about, but they have very specific functions within the glandular system.
So there's uva ursi in the master gland?
There is some uva ursi in the master gland. There is, yes. And then you can take it by itself. It's actually for urinary tract infections. Oh. So if you have a urinary tract infection, something going on in the glands that deal with body disposal of waste, uva ursi might come into play. So it has a specific function, but it's also in the master gland as well. Okay. I'm not going to give you the use of all the herbs and stuff today. We're going to mostly talk about the glands and specifically what those glands do. And the reason I want to do that is because if you hear, when I'm reading here, that's a problem that I have, then you can say, oh, I need to talk to them about my pituitary gland, or I need to talk to them about my adrenal glands. So I'm going to give you a very broad, like a 30 to 45 second pitch on several of the glands and what they do. And if you want more information on this, you can come by and the Health Patch and talk to any of our 5 naturopathic doctors, or make an appointment to do a private consultation with one of them. We deal with glandular stuff every day with our customers. The body's, if I start at the head and go down, the major glands, I'm not going to talk about every single thing, but the major glands, the top one is up in your brain, and it's called the pituitary. It's about the size of a pea. It's called the master gland by most of us because it actually regulates the functions of many of the other glands. It sends its hormones and signals to other glands to activate them. Below that is the thyroid and the parathyroids, and I will bet you that 90% of our listeners have probably heard of the thyroid, because there's always a lot of problems in the thyroid and the parathyroid. It influences growth, how big you are. It increases, it reflects on your weight. which is a major problem for most people. And it's also sets the metabolic rate for your body, so that you know how fast or how much you're burning and how much energy your body's producing. It influences the emotions, physical vitality, intellectual ability. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff that the thyroid does. The next one down is under your breastbone, and that's called the thymus. It's directly behind the breastbone. It's kind of butterfly shaped. Plays a key role in the production of the immune system's T cells. T actually stands for thymus, and so it's thymus cells. These circulate in the blood and the lymph system to protect body from invaders. We kind of call them killer cells. They kill out some of the malignant cells that are in the body. Below that are the adrenals. The adrenals are like the snow peaks on top of the Mount Kidney. They sit right on top of your kidneys and look like little snow peaks. They're for fight or flight. They produce 50 different hormones, and they address virtually everything in your body. They stimulate your heart. They regulate your blood sugar levels. They help to normalize your blood vessels. Fight or flight. They also have adrenaline that tells you whether to go or stay. They're really where your emotions and your body activity is concerned, probably the most important organ that we have, or most important gland that we have. Below that, on the left side, below your rib cage, is the pancreas. It's a major contributor to the digestive system, producing some 50 different enzymes. And we talked about enzymes last month. So and it includes insulin. So if you have blood sugar problems or diabetes, you've probably got something going on in your pancreas. And then the last one down lower in the abdomen are the male sex, the sex ovaries, the sex glands, ovaries for the females, testes for the males. They're the sexual glands. They regulate the reproductive process. They produce the hormones that basically control the physical and mental characteristics of each sex. So many of the things that make a man in terms of his thoughts, his emotions, the way that men react, their basic physical characteristics are produced by hormones in the testicles. Most people think of testosterone, which is a major one that's produced there.
So, wow, the glandular system really covers a broad range, many aspects of our life.
Of the life, the body very much so, and our life as well, because the things that those glands then produce cause us to have our reactions to things. They affect our mental processes, our physical processes. They affect our reaction to things. Yeah, basically, you couldn't function as a human being without your glands. They're absolutely essential. Common problems that are associated with the glandular system include hormone imbalances, emotional stress, reproductive troubles, blood sugar levels. All of those are basic. And I want to note that every hormone is carried either through the blood or the lymph to both stimulate and inhibit the activity of other organs or other tissues or other glands in the body. So they're regulatory in every sense in our body. And I also note that prolonged stress can be the cause of both thymus and lymph gland shriveling and exhaustion. And the reason I want to bring that up is because this is Randy Lee, and I have not read this anywhere, and it's only my thought. But I think my personal belief is that adrenal burnout is really one of the major contributors to PTSD and road rage. People who have rage and can't control it, or people who have lost their emotional ability to lost their emotional stamina, there's something wrong in the adrenals. And I think the adrenals feed on a lot of things, but primarily on B vitamins. And I think people who go into the battleground and are under tremendous stress and don't have access to the vitamins and the foods that feed the adrenals can burn out their adrenals. And finally, the adrenals get to the point where they just can't function anymore. And then I think that's when we call it PTSD and road rage. People may want to debate me on that, and I'll let them win. But that's my personal thought anyway.
Well, there may be something to that. Maybe you should be a counselor to returning soldiers.
Yeah. I actually tested it once with some friends of ours. I started sending them the two things that I like to use for PTSD, and I sent them I alternated the bottles each month and sent them when they were a year over in Afghanistan, and they came out without any problems. Now, that doesn't mean that that's a definitive answer,
Right.
but it means that they didn't come back with any problems after taking the stuff. And that might not work for everyone. It might not work for anyone, but it was just a test I wanted to do that I got some positive results out of. If you have glandular issues, talk to us about supplements that have maybe the answer to your physical and emotional issues. I want to add glandular to the list of healthy body systems that you have.
Amen. Thank you, Randy, for that in-depth analysis of the glandular system in 10 minutes. And thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Joseph. Bye-bye.